Hello, this is Mcd the Beast, and this is Mcd Sports4 coming to you today with my AP, not my AP top 25, with the Mcd Sports4 top 25, the only top 25 that counts, the Mcd Sports4 top 25 for week 4 of college football. Before I continue, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate if you do that. Really try and grow the channel, so go ahead and do that. So the way it works is I just give my top 25. I tell you, basically, maybe a quick comment or two about each team, and basically then we look at the teams that dropped out, and then I give you teams I missed. So let's get into it. Number 1, Clemson. They beat the Citadel. I do want to talk about the Citadel. I like what they did. They had a shot. I think it was either just a running clock or to have 10-minute quarters because they were down 49-0 at halftime. And the Citadel looked into Dabo Sweeney and said, no, we're only playing like 4 or 5 games this year. So we are actually going to go ahead and we want to play the full 60-minute game. So give the Citadel a lot of credit. And they actually pitched a shutout in the second half, the Citadel. I think Clemson kind of just went easy on them. But Clemson, they went ahead and got the win 49-0. Ohio State, number 2, they play on October 24th against Nebraska. Number 3, number 3, Alabama. Alabama, they go ahead and they play Missouri this week. I believe the game is in Tuscaloosa, if I'm not mistaken. They should be able to go ahead and win that game pretty easily. That might be a game I might look to pick on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And by the way, I meant to come out with this video on Monday. I've just been swamped with a bunch of schoolwork to do. For some reason, I think it's because these professors or teachers, they sit there and think, oh, well, we have nothing to do since we're sitting on our asses all day in quarantine. So they just give us a bunch of work to do. So that's why I couldn't get to it yesterday. Number 4, LSU. They go ahead and play Mississippi State, SEC game of the week. That game's definitely getting picked on tomorrow on the college football picks. Number 5, Oklahoma. They're on big noon kickoff against Kansas State. They went ahead. To me, they are the best team in the Big 12. Them and Texas, and we'll see what they do against Kansas State on big noon kickoff, and we'll be picking that game as well. Okay, number 6, Georgia. They play Arkansas. Number 7, Notre Dame. I believe they have a bye, Notre Dame. I might be wrong about that. Actually, their game got canceled. I forgot. Wake Forest, Notre Dame got canceled because of COVID. So we'll see what happens. Number 8, Florida. They play Ole Miss. That should be an interesting game. Number 9, Penn State. They play on the 24th. Number 10, Texas A&M. They play Vanderbilt. So we'll see what happens there. They should win that game pretty easily. Number 11, Texas. They go ahead and play Texas Tech on Fox after the big noon kickoff game. We'll see what they do against Texas Tech. Number 12, Wisconsin. They play on October 24th. Number 13, Minnesota. They play on October 24th. Number 14, Auburn. They play Kentucky in a top 25 matchup. At least in the AP pool, because the AP pool is not including the Big Ten teams. We'll see what happens there. I think Auburn should win that game. We will be picking that game for sure. Number 15, North Carolina. They two impressive wins. Well, not so much impressive wins, but two a pretty good win against Syracuse. Their game actually got canceled last week against Charlotte. We'll see what happens with them. In their next game, I don't know who they're playing next. Number 16, Oklahoma State. I had dropped them some spots after last week's debacle against Tulsa. I still think they are probably your third best team in the Big 12, but that was pretty embarrassing against Tulsa. Number 17, Michigan. They play on October 24th. Number 18, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, they went ahead and they did beat Austin Peay. I don't know if they have any other non-con games. I think they have one against Army, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're playing Army this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. But Cincinnati, number 18, number 19, Memphis. I don't know if they have any other non-con games as well, Memphis, but they're number 19, number 20, Tennessee. Big game for them against South Carolina. I think that might be one of your biggest games this week, despite no ranked teams in that matchup. or maybe even your biggest game in the SEC, because I think whoever wins that game will have a great season, and whoever loses that game will have a bad season. So big game for Tennessee and Columbia this upcoming Saturday. I'll definitely be watching that. But they are ranked number 20. Number 21 Army, as I said, I think they play Cincinnati this week, if I'm not mistaken. So big game for them coming up, and I know their game against BYU was canceled, but big game for Army. Number 22 Louisiana, they survived. They did go ahead and survive Georgia State. I moved them up a spot because I dropped out 2 teams and moved one up, so Louisiana got moved up a spot. But not really an impressive win for them. But Georgia State, they did beat Tennessee last year. They were one of the better teams in the Sun Belt last year, Georgia State. So definitely a good win for Louisiana there on the road. Number 23, Miami, big win against Louisville. I still think Miami at best is the third best team in the ACC behind Clemson and Notre Dame, but I could be wrong about that. Notre Dame, they played 2 games so far this year against South Florida, who they shut out 52-0, and then they look kind of flat against Duke. So I could be wrong about that. I definitely am not going to say Clemson. They're not as good as Clemson. I'm definitely not going to say Miami is better than Clemson. That's ludicrous. But number 23 Miami, number 24 BYU. I still think this team. I still think this team deserves to be in the top 25. They had a game canceled against Army, which is a disappointment. But BYU number 24. And then number 25 UCF. Yes, I threw them in there after they blew out Georgia Tech. Um, and them, Cincinnati, Memphis. I know SMU people are high on them. Those are gonna be your teams contending for the American, in my opinion. I could be forgetting one, but to me, those are your 4 teams right there, probably contending for the American. So that's your top 25. That's the Mcd Sports 4 top 25 right there. Teams that dropped out, I dropped number 22 Louisville. Their defense is pitiful. And number 23 Iowa. They don't play to the October 24th, but I dropped them out because I wanted to add UCF in the top 25, so I dropped them out. And teams I just missed. Marshall. Marshall's the best team in West Virginia. They went ahead and beat Appalachian State, so that was a big win for them. They might be the best team in the conference USA. Pitt 2-0, 2 pretty good wins. They go ahead and I think they face Louisville, if I'm not mistaken, this upcoming week. So we'll see what happens there. SMU, they hung 65 on North Texas. They did give up 35, but I still think they're one of the best teams in the American. Liberty, big win against Western Kentucky. They look very impressive there. Hugh Freeze under year 2, so we'll see what happens there. And then Coastal Carolina. Listen, Coastal Carolina 2-0. Granted, Campbell was one of the wins, but the other win was Kansas, and they went into Kansas. And I know the perception with the Big 12, like, outside of Oklahoma and Texas, the Big 12 sucks. But they smacked a Big 12 team around like it was nothing. That defense is fun to watch, and offensively, they're not that bad. So, Coastal Carolina just missed out on my top 25, and we'll see what they'll do throughout the rest of the season. But that's basically my top 25. Comment down below. Tell me your top 25. I always like hearing from you all. Tell me why my top 25 is wrong. I know there's talks about the Mountain West and the MAC coming back this fall. We'll see about that. I'll tell you right now, no MAC teams would be my top 25. But Boise State I probably would add Boise State to my top 25. Maybe, I don't know. But if they were playing, as I said, this is just a 1 year thing. So it's going to be kind of weird with the Pac-12 Mountain West and the MAC not playing. And basically, we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. McD the Beast signing off.